Bum, 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 bum.
Oh.
Da, 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 da.
I just wanted to devolve into like, you know how if you like turn on like a TV and it's just white noise, or like if you render something enough, it just becomes like that. What I just wanted to be like,
Dun, 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 dun.
Yes, that's the thing. That's the song. Hello, welcome to the. God, what week are we on? Now every week
11.
is
Going
11.
Week,
Okay,
we wrapped up week 11, Coach. Going into
Dang.
week 12.
This week's just been a blur after that Thursday night game I had to watch. All right, through good.
I mean, there was a lot of good games. Apparently, all of us forgot how to pick games, but you know.
Oh,
yeah, that was a well.
I called the sleeping horse.
You did call the sleeping horse this
I
time.
called the sleeping horse. So I told
And once
you.
again, I hate that you were rewarded 2 weeks in a row for doing that.
Yeah.
First off, calling the Titans over the Patriots last week, and then this past week calling the Broncos, who, by the way, won by 1 point. I just want to point that out. 1 point over the Chargers, who Rob picked as your lock.
They won.
By the way,
they won
they
the
did.
game. That's all that matters. They won the game.
They did.
So
good job, Coach.
Thank you.
Always trust Coach in these.
Anyway, let's see. We opened up with the Jets are on the bye week this week.
Yeah, we finally got a win. I didn't have to watch the Jets. That's my win.
That is a win.
Congrats. I'm happy for you, Rob.
Thank you. Thank you.
The Jets they actually outperformed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yep.
That was something, yeah.
So let's open it up with my favorite game of the week, Packers Seahawks, a game we probably needed to win.
Yeah. What happened there, Coach? It looked like you were guys
to win.
You guys were favorites. Krendor and Sinvicta picked the Packers. The last time I ever picked the Packers ever. I'm thinking.
It was looking great. They fumbled the opening drive. We got a touchdown. Then we went up. It was the end of the first quarter. It was 14-3. I was like, dude, we're going to steamroll these Seahawks. This is going to be easy. And then, some injuries started happening. Then, Mike McCarthy was like, what if we just stop running the ball? And I was like, no. I was like, God, remember last week I said if Aaron Jones has more than 15 carries, we'll win. If he has under, we'll lose. Because so many carries he had. 11.
Yeah.
11 carries. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. This dude is like, first half, he was destroying. He had the first touchdown of the game. He's like running through people. Like he finished with like 3.6 yards a carry, which like still is not, if you run him 3 times in a row, you're going to get a first down.
Yeah.
So like, I don't get why he just stops running the ball. It doesn't make sense to me. And we weren't even like down, like we were winning. You would think we'd run more when we're winning, but he's like, what if instead of running the ball, we do a quick wide receiver screen pass for a yard? And it's like, no, that didn't work last time or the last week or the entire season. Maybe it's not going to work again.
As a non-Packer fan, Coach, and me and Coach, we're talking about it while this game was going on. Yeah. I said something to the effect of, as a non-Packer fan, someone who actually kind of dislikes the Packers, I cannot comprehend as to how or why you would not run Aaron Jones, who is clearly one of the best backs in the league. Mm-hmm. He's not being used. How do you not utilize that, Coach?
Aaron Rodgers was like, hey, can we get Aaron Jones the ball more? Still didn't happen.
Did he say that, really?
Yeah, he legit said, I want to get Aaron Jones the ball more. Apparently him and Mike McCarthy are like in a big
They got into
right
it
now.
After the game.
Yeah, I heard they were. Yeah, I know he publicly said that he was not a fan of the play calling this year. So
I'm not a fan of the play calling either. Yeah, so I agree with him.
I'm not even a Packers fan, and I'm not a fan of the play calling.
McCarthy. He's just kind of stale. Like when he came in, he came into the league when Brett Favre was still on our team. He helped kind of rejuvenate Brett Favre a bit, got him going, and then he like he was all right with Aaron Rodgers. Like the first years kept it going. And now it's just the league has kind of changed to the point where people are playing like Big 12 football and scoring 80 points a game. And now we're just kind of stuck in 2010 where we're like, what if wide receiver screen? And it's like, no, that doesn't work unless you have like Tyreek Hill. Then it's like, all right, well, what do we do now? Do we run it with our good running back? Just no, throw it downfield. It's like, hold on to the ball for 10 seconds, get sacked. All right, well, we're 3 and out again. It's so frustrating. And the frustrating part isn't even like if you watch a Jets game, you're like, well, we didn't do that,
by
but
the way.
we're like, oh, we didn't make that play, but like, we're the Jets. Like, we don't go wide receiver. Mine's like, we have these players. There's like Devontae Adams. There's Aaron Jones. There's Aaron Rodgers. There's like Jimmy Gray. There's like all these people, and we're just like 3 and out. And I'm like, what's happening? It's like
that's the shit about the Jets games is like a lot of the time, I will sit and watch the game and be like, this year, I'll use this year as an example.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of times, like there was one game specifically where it's just like Sam Darnold drops back to pass. Oh, it's a 20-yard completion. All right, let's just run the ball the next 7 times instead. And then, maybe we'll do a screen to a Nunwa and see if that gets blown up because the defense knows it's happening every time. Let the fucking kid throw. And it's the same kind of, you're getting that feeling of like when there are playmakers here.
Yeah.
Use them. That's what they're for.
What do you think like stops them from doing that? Like, is it just a mental block in their mind? Like, is it an ego thing? Like, I don't get it.
I would suspect, I would wager that a lot of it, I think sometimes I'll watch an NFL game. And by the way, let's preempt this by saying, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Grain of salt. I'm just some guy, right? All that stuff. Right. Yeah. None of us do. That's fine. But what I think might happen sometimes that I notice is I think sometimes coaches outcoach themselves. And I think they think they end up in the iocane powder conversation from Princess Bride, where it's like, well, they know that I know that they know that they think I'm running. So obviously I'm going to pass here. But then they know that I know that they know that I think that I'm running. So they must think that I'll pass. So I'll have to run. And I think that happens sometimes in the NFL where, like, sometimes the best move is just, hey, you got the hot hand, let him fucking play. Sometimes the best play is the same play that you just ran. Yeah. Like sometimes that happens in the NFL where you get like so close and then it's just like, fuck it, just run it again. We got that close, run it again.
They just try to do too much. It's almost like when you're watching the game even, it becomes a little more clear to you because as a fan, you don't want bad things happening and you're like watching it from an observer's perspective. And so it's like, oh, they keep running the ball with, I don't know, like Gurley. And Gurley keeps getting 10 yards. You're like, please don't keep running the ball with Gurley. And then they stop and they like get an incompletion. You're like, oh, thank God. But like they could probably just keep running it and just run you down and be like, oh, there we go. And it's sometimes, they are just kind of overthinking it. Like, well, it can't keep working.
But I think what Rob's trying to say is like they sometimes out metagame themselves. And I kind of I understand that. And like I can sort of see how the mentality is. We don't want him to like gas himself in the first half, but you gotta give him the ball more. I mean, someone like Aaron Jones getting 11 carries with the efficiency and production that he does. I mean, like it's not like he's even an exclusive running back too. He's got great hands.
Well, he's got a receiving touchdown in that game too. 5 receptions for 63 yards. Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to necessarily run him all the time, but like. I just can't. That boggles my mind. Like, you know how many teams would kill to have like a 3-down back like Aaron Jones? Oh God,
I would kill for that.
I would. I'd love that happening, right?
Yeah. The last time the Buccaneers had a back like that, it was either Michael Pittman or Warwick Dunn. That was. I mean, that was it.
Oh,
I mean,
Warwick
you could
Dunn.
say Doug
That's
Martin. You could say Doug Martin, but like Doug Martin, he wasn't really. He was more of like a catching back than anything because like he was not very good at blocking. But
to put it into perspective, Aaron Jones has an average of 6.4 yards per carry right now on the year.
He's a monster.
And he had and this is after 3.6 average in the game. Like he had a down game as far as his yards per carry is concerned. He's still on the year at 6.4.
Yeah,
that's. I mean, I mean, I don't know, man. I'll play a little devil's advocate, by the way, for Mike McCarthy's sake. I'll play a little devil's advocate here.
Right.
So, in case viewers at home don't know, when they get into the huddle, the QB gets in the huddle, they call the play, and then they do the play, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, they actually. Most teams, I think all teams really, call 2 plays in the huddle. And whenever you see a QB, pretty much any team that runs like the alert system, which is almost every team in the NFL, where they say like alert, alert, or they go kill, kill, or they do the Chiefs do this where they wipe the chest thing. They do the wipe the chest motion. That all means the same thing. That's an audible to the second play. So my devil's advocate is maybe they are calling runs and maybe Aaron Rodgers is checking out of them. But if he's the one that also is saying that, like, hey, can we get Aaron Jones the ball more, then maybe he's not. Maybe he's not checking out of the runs.
I don't think they're doing any checkdowns or audibles that often. Like maybe 1 out of every 10 plays or so, or maybe 1 out of every like 3 possessions they would do that. But that's I think it just comes down to short-sightedness coaching. I mean, it seems so obvious to me.
Yeah. That's the problem. Is it seems so obvious to like everyone, but they keep doing it. Like this happened. Like one of the most blatant things I saw happen was like we do really well when we throw slant passes, and we just after like week 1 destroyed the Bears, who right now look amazing. We like shredded the Bears defense by just throwing quick slant passes. And I was like, this is how we won the Super Bowl. It was like slant passes. That's all he did. And then he's like, this is working. But what if like we just the wide receiver screen? It's like, why do you keep doing wide receiver screens? They don't work. And then he'll just like it's frustrating. It's like, all right, I get it if you like throw the slants and then they don't work, but it's like you just don't do them. It's blah.
Yeah, having watched a couple of the Packers games, like it does feel it's like Aaron Rodgers is getting hit a lot, right? Like that's still happening. I feel like I don't know what his like I'm not sure if he's like high up on sacks, but I feel like every time I watch Packers games, he's getting sacked a lot.
He's tied with Matt Stafford.
Yeah, he's getting sacked a lot, and honestly, like, okay, so to your point with the slant patterns, like. That's how you beat a pass rush, right? Like that's why they game planned like that against like Khalil Mack and the Bears, is because like quick passes beat pass rush because you just get the ball out as soon as you snap the ball, right? I feel like Aaron Rodgers every time they're in these situations where it's like, oh, they're bringing pressure. Why don't we make a play that takes 7 seconds and Aaron Rodgers has to bomb at 80 yards downfield? No, stop doing that. Dink and dunk, dude. Just do little like short passing. That's what Tom Brady has been doing for 20 years, by the way. Yeah. And it's frustrating to watch, by the like as an opposing fan, because he'll just carve your shit up. He'll just like 5 yards, 5 yard pass, 5 yard completion, 5 yard completion. Oh wait, all of a sudden it's a fucking touchdown.
Yeah, taking what the defense gives you. Essentially.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's that. I mean, that I see that a lot in Packers games where like they have every play is like this long developing play, and with a lack of checkdowns a lot of the time. And it's just like, let them have something.
A little of that is on Aaron Rodgers too, because he really likes to hold on to the ball and try to make the play become bigger than it is. And that leads to a lot of his sacks where for example, there was the play where he could have checked down to Aaron Jones and he just kind of ran around and then got sacked. Although I don't know if he saw him because they blitzed from that side, but he was still like looking downfield instead of like the easy check down route. But it's a common thing, which is why he's only got 1 interception, because he tends to just kind of be really safe with it. But it can get frustrating at times. He's had this problem before, and everyone's like, throw the ball. And everybody's just like, there's no open wide receivers. Then you like watch the thing again, and you're like, there's one right there. Why didn't you throw it to him? It is part of that. But I think part is still Mike McCarthy living in 2011, because we did this a lot in 2011, and it worked, where we would just do play action, throw it down the field. Jordy Nelson's like, hey, my 20th touchdown. And you're like, hey, all right. But they really like bombing it downfield because it would work. And now it doesn't work. And I think people have schemed enough to like kind of counter it. And we're still stuck there. And we just need a fresh mind to help rejuvenate Rodgers and rejuvenate the offense.
You need a coach to tell him like, hey, definitely take what's there, because here's the thing, like it's similar to like how the people always say like you use the run to set up the pass, and the pass sets up the run, and that's true. If your QB is not taking the checkdowns and the easy first downs when they're there, then the reason that Aaron Jones was open on that play at all is exactly is going to happen every play, which is they're just going to not play the flats. If he's not going to throw to the flats, they're not going to play the flats, and then all of a sudden you have like two more defenders out in the out downfield, and it's going to be a lot harder to pass downfield.
Yeah, tinfoil hat. Part of me thinks it's almost to spite Mike McCarthy, or like they're trying to get him fired. It almost feels like when you used to watch Aaron Rodgers, he'd like do his belt, he'd be like pumping like woo, and now he just kind of is like, hey, right.
He does.
I think he's just getting older, coach. I think that's just what happened.
Well, old Tom Brady's getting older, but he's still like running around and shit. Like normally,
that's Tom Brady. By the way, no bear this week.
No bear this week, right?
Speaking of the Patriots,
but like it doesn't feel like he's as excited, and I think the Mike McCarthy thing ties into it. I think he just wants a change as well. And that's why I think they're going to do it. Because you either go two ways when this happens. You either side with the coach or you side with the quarterback. And they just paid Aaron Rodgers a lot of money. So they're not siding with the coach.
I feel like you should never side with if you have an Aaron Rodgers on your team, you're never going to side with the coach.
Yeah.
If Aaron Rodgers wants something,
as long as it's been tried and true. I mean, he's got a Super Bowl, so
right, yeah,
that's something.
Yeah,
but what is the worst Packers season that has come across in the last
probably
10
last
years?
season?
I brought it up last week.
So what's the worst?
We've had like maybe like a 4-12, and then like an 8-8, and I think like a 6-10.
When did the 4-12 happen?
That was like Brett Favre.
2003.
Yeah, it's like around there. Maybe like 2005, I think. One of the it's a blur. I don't remember those lost seasons.
All that winning.
Yeah, I know exactly. I don't remember last time we had 4 wins. But like, especially by week 11. But like, the Packers can still get in. They just have to win out.
Still get in.
Yeah.
Normally,
they're not mathematically eliminated.
They're not going to win the division. I don't think.
I don't think anyone's mathematically eliminated yet.
Well, that's the thing, too. It's like normally he says something by now, like, hey, relax, guys. Or like, we're going to run the table. Now he's just like, I don't fucking know. We're just not playing good. And I'm like, where's the saying? Where's the, we're going to go out there. And
he's disgruntled because he's frustrated with McCarthy. But like, again, as a non-Packer fan, I'm frustrated. I'm like, dude, if I have someone like Aaron Jones who is producing nonstop, just use the guy. Use him.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the game again, there's the point where we were winning by 1, I believe, or we were down by like 3. It was something, and it was like 4th and 2. And Mike McCarthy, with like 4 minutes left and 1 timeout, was like, let's just punt it. And it's like, our defense, like Mike Daniels just got hurt. Kenny Clark just got hurt. That's our entire defensive line, like, just gone. And he's like, just give it back to the Seahawks. They've been like, just scoring touchdowns every place. And it's like, well, what do you, then they go score a touchdown. And it's like, all right, cool. It was just, and he's like, well, I played the numbers. And I'm like, did you though? Did you really? Because that doesn't seem like he played the numbers. Then he didn't challenge the one play because we had 1 timeout left. And he's like, oh, I don't want to challenge it. We can't waste that timeout. And it's like, that's a game-changing play. And everybody looking at it is like, hey, that doesn't look like a catch. Even like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are like, yeah, that doesn't look like a catch. And I'm like, where's the flag? No flag. Next play, touchdown. I was like, can I just, can I drink my bleach now?
I love that. I love that you put a retort to Rob's drinking bleach last week. That was
I had to do it. I felt that feeling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You hit that point.
No, I'm telling you, what you're feeling. Like I feel your pain. This is exactly Jets every week. Every week, it's like it's the same kind of thing. Where not every week. Some weeks it's just like, oh, they're just shitting on us. We suck. But like most weeks, legitimately, it's just like, this is so clear. It's so obvious. Just do that thing that is working. Just do the thing that's working. It's not complicated.
Yeah.
Just if we needed any more confirmation about how similar, how Rob and I will be forever bonded by two things: the fact that A, people think that we're the same person, and B, that we both have exactly the same football team.
Yeah.
This is how similar the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are to the Jets. Both 3-7. They have They have a .300 winning percentage, right? The Buccaneers have allowed way more points. The net points for the Bucs is greater by a score of 16. But at home, Jets 2-3, Bucs 2-2. Road teams, Tampa Bay 1-5. The Jets 1-4.
I didn't even know that we won an away game. Actually,
in the division, it's 1-2 for the Bucs, 0-3 for the Jets. They're both 2-5 in the conferences. They both have, of course, the .286 winning percentage in that. Non-conference, they're both 1-2, and they're both on a 4-game losing streak, Rob. And then the last 5 games, we're both 1-4. Rob and I, we're undiscernible from each other at this point.
Yep. You're the NFC Jets.
Yeah, that's what the Bucs are. The Bucs are just god awful, coach.
Yep.
Even just looking at like your past seasons, you have a lot of very similar seasons. Like ever since the year 2000, you both kind of have like the same amount of 9-10 win seasons. You each have like 1-11 win season. One it's like a 12 win, then the rest is just like 4-12, 5-11.
The Bucs are the NFC,
and
Jets.
we both share Fitzmagic as well.
Yep.
The other thing too is that both of our teams have had coaches the past couple of years where it's just like, we're going to play defensive football because defense wins championships, as we can tell by that Rams-Chiefs game. Defense is the way to play. Ground and pound is coming back, boys. And like, just kill me.
And we've gone through we've hit for the cycle here for coaches. We've had a players coach, we've had a hard-nosed coach, we had an offensive coach, and a defensive coach. We've hit for the cycle, Rob.
We still need an offensive coach. I don't think we've had one of those in like, I don't know. Ever?
Dirk Cotter supposedly is an offensive-minded coach of the Bucs, which
they got 500 yards.
Yeah,
actually, you know what? You don't even have to say necessarily supposedly because they clearly are, but they know how to throw for yards. They don't know how to score though.
I know.
I saw the top thing is the Bucs had more yards against the Redskins than the Rams had against the Chiefs. Bucs got 3 points. Rams had 54.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna read that out. That's actually what I was looking for while I was saying that.
That's a standard issue Buck headline there, coach. That's Tampa Bay. I am convinced that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are just should not be a football team anymore.
Speaking of them, they lost 38-35 to the New York Football Giants.
They did, and Rob foolishly picked the Giants they foolishly picked the Bucs to win. Yeah. So that should teach you a lesson, Rob.
That was a very dumb decision. Yeah, it turns out. Although, in fairness, I didn't expect Eli's stat line to be 17 of 18, 231 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Dude,
for a rating of 155.8.
Yeah. He looked like the Eli of old. He's back. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's now finally hitting his midseason stride towards the third quarter of the season.
Yo, legitimately, I'm just gonna say before we talk about this game more, if you look at the Giants' schedule, it's entirely possible that they can run the table or lose just one game. And if they lose one game with Alex Smith gone in Washington, with the Eagles exploding themselves, and the Cowboys being the Cowboys, the Giants could sneak into the playoffs at 8-8 this time.
Yep.
And if they do that, you know what it means. They're just going to win a Super Bowl. It's going to be a Super Bowl. They're going to win. Three lies gonna happen.
Be sure you, Rob. I want you to make a note, a physical and mental note right now. Make sure you keep that tidbit for Bear when he comes back. Please.
Here's my hot take. If the Giants are in the playoffs, they're my pick for the Super Bowl. I'm telling you that straight up. They will be, because I have seen this. I'm sure Patriots fans in 2011 were like, well, they're not going to do it again. And then they did. So like I will not count out 3 lie if it happens. If he ends up in the playoffs, it's happening.
They're not gonna make playoffs.
They're probably not gonna make the playoffs.
Playoffs?
Are you gonna pick the Giants every week now? It's like there it is.
Oh, he's our sleeping horse. That's Rob's sleeping horse. But
yeah,
that's right, Coach. Tampa Bay Buccaneers losing 35-38 decided to try to actually play the football game towards the end of the fourth quarter.
Dude,
not really what I would consider orthodox as far as good coaching is concerned, Coach. But you know what? Started Fitzmagic, and I was correct in the sense that, well, Winston wouldn't be starting for the Bucs this season. Of course, I didn't realize that Fitzpatrick would also just take his pants off in the middle of the field and drop a big old fat steaming deuce. But Fitzmagic going for 167 and 3 interceptions.
Yep, that'll do it.
Jameis Winston coming in looking like he still wants the job. Hopefully he still gets shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
And things it was a great game, Coach. At least we saw what Peyton Barber can do when he carries for 18 times in one quarter, I think, almost for that.
Yeah. That'd be great. Get 18 carries for a running back in a game.
That's the Bucs. And Peyton Barber did actually average 5.9 yards a carry. So
and a touchdown, 106 yards too.
Jameis Winston with the 2 TDs. He's looking great. I was like, how's he going to blow it? And then he threw the pick, and it was like, well, there it is.
That's it. That's
classic Bucs coach.
By the way, I know, just revisiting the Packer game real quick, I know people are like, I'm a Seattle fan. You just talking about the Packers the whole game. All right, Russell Wilson looked great. He carried the team. I still don't think they're going to make playoffs, but I also don't like the Seahawks, and I'm very biased.
Yeah, I mean, they could. It's a rough schedule, though, for them.
Yeah.
That's a tough schedule.
It is pretty rough. Hopefully a little too rough for them. Hey. Let's hop into the Ravens-Bengals. What a game that was with Lamar Jackson starting.
Yep. I do want to get into that, but I do want to say one last thing about the Giants-Bucs game.
Yes, Rob. Yes,
I want to give you another little stat.
All right, I'm waiting for it.
All right, so
I'm clenched and ready to go.
Hear me out. Stat of the year: quarterback who's thrown the most interceptions on the year. Guess who that is?
Eli Manning.
It's Sam
Darnold. Yep.
Sam Darnold.
Yep.
Guess who's number 2 and number 3?
Fitzpatrick and Winston.
Yep,
wow.
Correct.
Has that ever been done before?
I don't know. I don't think so. People have been trying to find out, actually. Like, people have been looking into it. But it's like, that's incredible that they might.
You know,
2 of the top 3.
What? And all 3 are your favorite teams.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad we started this podcast this year, boys.
So I want to start a new segment here, Coach, towards the mid-season point. I'd like to play a new game. I'd like to call Sinvicta reads a random response to the Buccaneers Twitter after posting the final score on game day, Coach.
Okay.
I'd like if I can just do that real quick. So
all right.
I need a number between 1 and 119.
48.
All right, scrolling down to 48 here. This is gonna be complete random. All right, here we go. It's a picture. It appears to be Jonah Hill, and he's scratching his brow while his eyes are closed. And the reply to that one is, no more fit stick with Jameis.
Okay. All
right.
Back to you guys up in the booth, Coach.
Pretty good, yeah.
By the way, there's no grammar in that. I'm reading it as literal. No more fit stick with Jameis.
Well,
thank you, Tampa.
Ravens, Bengals.
Yep, Ravens, Bengals. It was an interesting game because first off, Lamar Jackson didn't look that good stat-wise. 13 of 19, 150 yards and an interception. But he had 27 rushes for 117 yards. 27.
To put that into perspective, that's the amount of times that Saquon Barkley rushed in the Giants game. That's how much they ran Lamar Jackson.
That's insane. And then to top it off, Gus Edwards was the running back. He ran for 115 yards and a touchdown, 17 carries. A rookie. So you had two rookies combined to rush for over 200 yards.
And by the way, for those of you who aren't Ravens fans, Lamar Jackson is the quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah.
In case if you didn't know.
The Ravens. Okay. Also important to know in case you guys didn't know the game. The Ravens win this game. They ran it 54 times. 54 times.
Pretty
That's
good.
Crazy. Yo, I'm straight up with you. I know his passing stat line didn't look great. Lamar Jackson is legit. Yeah. Like this. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing with a heavy rushing attack in the modern NFL. It's not sustainable, obviously. I think, but the way that they were running the ball, almost every play was an option play. That's confusing. That is hard. And they would do these options all the time. Like I watched a good portion of that game. They'd run these options all the time where it was like fake jet sweep tosses where like two or three guys, like it looked like I was watching Canadian football or college football where they would run like guys behind Lamar and you wouldn't know who was getting the ball. Maybe Lamar keeps it. Maybe he throws it to the first guy. Maybe he throws it to the second guy. Maybe he throws it to the third guy on a toss on a running play. Like it's hard. I don't know how teams defend it that well. I mean, you can set the edge against Lamar Jackson, but he can just bring it down and run. Yeah, you know.
I like watching Alex Collins run because he reminds me of Taj. I don't know if for how many of you played Wings of Liberty for StarCraft 2, but he reminds me so much of Taj with his dreads.
Oh yeah,
he's got like not just regular dreads. I'm talking like mega ultra dreads. And seeing him bounce around is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
I saw a stat where it was like even Michael Vick didn't run that much. It was like the most a quarterback ran since 1999. They didn't say who it was, but they were just like since 1999. And I was like, well, who was it?
Well, that had to have been Vick.
Well, that's
they
the
said
thing
it wasn't.
with Michael Vick. The thing with Vick is that they didn't necessarily tailor the offense for him to run a lot. Like he just took off all the time, and he was so fast that he would get like massive rushing numbers. But like this game plan that they assembled for the Bengals was clearly like, hey, we made this offense for Lamar Jackson, and it worked in this game. I think it worked pretty damn well, all things considered. I mean, you know how painful that must have been for that defense to have a running play 54 fucking times.
Yeah, that's the class. That's even crazier than just a ground and pound. That's like super ground and pound.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm trying to find
Ty Montgomery, 0 carries for 5 yards. I don't know how that happens. How did that happen?
I'm not sure, actually. That's very strange. Maybe he picked up a fumble?
Maybe. That'd be ironic.
Yeah. I don't know actually how that works.
I'm just glad it's not with our team anymore.
Yeah, 99 was when the Bucs actually went all the way to the NFC Championship and lost to the Rams by a score of 6-11.
I remember fun. That was Sean King, right?
Yep.
Sean King.
Yep, and they lost to Kurt Warner and the greatest show on turf, which was fine considering that was the prime of that era for the Rams. So if you're gonna lose, at least lose to like the champion.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, I'm trying to find the QB stat to find out exactly who it is, and I'm not coming up with anything.
That's what I'm saying.
27 rushes is crazy. Like that's not even running back numbers. Like that's more than running back numbers.
It is.
Most like unless you're like a top 5 bell cow back where they literally run the ball to only you. you don't get 27 fucking carries. That's crazy. And it worked. I mean, he had 4.3 on the average, like 21 yards on the longest run. Like,
dude's fast.
Yeah, he's and if honestly, even in passing, he didn't look bad, I think, personally. Like, granted, he has the pick, but I don't think I don't remember, so don't quote me on this, but I think the pick was a tip ball. So I don't even think it was his fault. But there are obviously, like, even the times that he passed, like, it was like basically one read offense type of stuff, like it was, they didn't make him make progressions or anything. But that's fine. He's a project, you knew he was a project coming in, and you can now definitely see that, like, his legs can destroy the league. So if he can get the pass working, he's going to be unstoppable. Yeah.
Ravens will be very good.
Oh yeah.
That's terrifying. However, not looking very good.
Yeah, the Bengals really imploded, huh?
Joe Mixon, 12 carries, 14 yards. Andy Dalton was 19 of 36, 200 yards, 2 TDs, which isn't bad, but like,
I mean,
I don't know. They don't look that good, but they're 5-5, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm looking at, because remember, they started off the year 4-1.
Yeah.
And then since then they've gone 1-4.
There's always one of those teams.
Yeah.
Start out hot and then fall off.
Here's a random stat for you here, as long as now that Rob is here.
Yeah.
Who do you think is number 1 in rushing attempts of all time in the NFL? Take a wild guess.
Fran Tarkenton.
No.
Eddie George.
No. I'll give you a hint. Think Denver.
Oh.
Are we talking running backs?
No. We're talking QBs. We're talking the most quarterback rushing attempts.
John Elway?
John Elway holds the most QB rushing attempts at 774 attempts.
Oh my God.
I didn't realize that he was the all-time leader.
I mean, he did have that one, toss himself into the end zone, that famous play, right?
Yeah, that was who that played. Who was that against? Yeah.
He also owns the most QB career sacks endured, which is 516.
Jesus.
He's been sacked 516 times.
That's insane.
Wow.
He's gonna be his
career is only going to go downhill from here.
His brain must be soup, honestly.
At that point, he drafted Tim Tebow
and Paxton Lynch.
Yeah, both turned out to be great baseball players.
I'll tell you what, that one playoff game with Tim Tebow was like the most hype ever, and then he fell back to earth.
Straight up,
that was exciting to watch.
When the Tebow phenomenon was happening, I was in, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, because you know what? Like, I QBs, people do this all the time where they list wins as a QB stat, and I'm always just like, well, it's not. It's really not, because it's a very team game in football. But like every time that motherfucker got the ball, they win the fucking game. So I was just like, just play him. I don't know. There's some kind of magic happening.
Yeah. They're like, how is this happening?
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
Some sort of weird Jesus voodoo that's happening that is giving him super saint powers.
For the record, all three of us picked the Ravens to win over the Bengals.
Yeah.
Like, even with Tebow, if you put him in a small market, you would drive so much traffic there. And what's the worst you do? You like lose, and then you get to draft another guy. I don't get why they didn't do it.
I actually have a question about Lamar Jackson for you guys. So the Ravens, with this win, they have gone back to 500.
Mm-hmm.
What do they do with Flacco now? Is this like when Flacco is no longer injured? Does he come back?
Well, Flacco's coming on. He'll be back, I believe, for week 12, but it's a shaky start though.
But that's what I mean. Like even if he's fully healthy, do they start him? I think the season's not over, of course, at all. But like, do you think they have a better chance to win with Lamar Jackson or Joe Flacco right now?
I'd say Jackson. I mean,
I'd say Jackson too.
Jackson too.
I mean, how it's a completely different dynamic to an offense that's not used to doing that kind of style.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, it's new and exciting for Ravens fans to watch, and I'm sure the players are loving it too. I'd be surprised if they start Flacco on week 12. I'm not saying that Jackson's going to take over as the starter, but I mean, like, permanently. But I think that with him coming off of that injury in week 12, I would be surprised if they started Flacco over Jackson.
Yeah,
coming up.
It's weird because like I was very impressed with Lamar Jackson in this game, but I don't think it was the kind of performance that made.
They're playing the Raiders at home.
Yeah. Start Jackson.
They won't play. Yeah, they won't play.
Exactly. Yeah. But I even though I was very impressed with Lamar Jackson and that system that they ran there, like I don't think it was the kind of game where I was like, oh, there's no reason to start Flacco. Just get Lamar all the snaps. Like it was I thought it was a very good game, and it was a very unique game, but I don't necessarily know if that means that they have their best chance to win with him. But at the same time, I don't know, man. I think Lamar Jackson should just start. You're gonna go down the future. He's your future, right? Like you drafted him in the first round. He's your future.
Yeah, I mean, he is. But I mean, at the same time, like you're in a playoff race right now. And
that's what I mean, yeah.
Like Joe Flacco is still 12 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Like he's still not bad, 2,400 yards.
Yeah, he's doing fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you go Jackson this week, and then when you play Atlanta, I think you start Flacco. But if he starts just dipping at any point or you're falling behind, I think you just put in Jackson and then like mix it up and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Like why not?
Yeah. It's weird, man.
Yeah, and then you make the other team have to kind of scheme around that too. Like, oh, what if they do put in Lamar Jackson? Well, now what do we do?
Honestly, I think not just like building this game plan around Jackson was a smart thing for John Harbaugh, but like right now the mystery of, because if you're a defense right now, like if you're a defensive coordinator and you're going against the Ravens and it's a mystery who's starting, which is what they did in this game, right? Like we only found out like the day of the game that Lamar Jackson was starting. So like if it's a mystery, you're playing two completely different offenses depending on who's starting right now. That's got to be really tough to game plan around, right? Like I mean, you can't imagine that's easy. So,
I said it in a much cooler way earlier, Rob.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So I don't know, man.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be fun to watch at least. See what happens with that.
I won't watch it.
You won't watch it. It's fine.
I mean, I'll look at the highlights for next week. But
yeah, that seems fair.
So moving on, we had the Cowboys Falcons, 22-19. I thought this was gonna be a super high scoring game. It was not.
No.
Now, to be fair, I did not watch this game. I just saw that they won. I haven't even watched the highlights. I'm just like, hey, look at that.
I watched. Yeah, no, I watched it. I mean, I watched it through like Red Zone, right? So I mean, like, I didn't, see it
still
start to finish or anything. But yeah. Like, so I mean, there's really not much to say, to be honest, other than my Nostradamus prediction came true again, as it has, I think, all season with the Cowboys, which is. Here's how you can figure out, if you look at the Cowboys schedule box score before looking at the numbers. Here's how you find out if the Cowboys won the game. Did Ezekiel Elliott have a good day? If yes, the Cowboys won. If no, the Cowboys lost. That's what it was. Ezekiel Elliott had a good day. 23 carries, 122 yards, 5.3 average, and a touchdown. And he was also their leading receiver with 7 receptions and 79 yards. Like, he had a good day. If you don't stop Ezekiel Elliott, he will destroy your team.
Yeah, and looking at some of their losses, like Redskins lost, he had 33 yards, Titans 61 yards, Texans 54 yards.
Yep, literally all the games that they lost, he did poorly.
Yeah,
I'm actually curious if I'm right about the wins though. Let's see. Box score. Yep, 106 yards in the win. 151 yards in the win. 122 yards in the win. Yeah, it's literally every time Ezekiel Elliott has a good day. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know.
I mean, the Cowboys still 5-5. Like, they're still in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are. I hate that I picked the Falcons to win and then they didn't. The one time that I pick an NFC South rival.
Yeah. It's another, like, Tevin Coleman. Let's see. 8 carries, 58 yards. Matt Ryan had 291 yards, 1 TD, 1 int. Julio Jones had a touchdown. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, he had a really nice touchdown, actually, too.
Or as Rob likes to call him, Julio.
Julio Jones.
Julio Jones.
Well, I mean, hold on. I mean, I haven't been watching the Falcons offense this year or cared about the Falcons really, but but hear me out here. Is this an Aaron Jones situation here? Because Tevin Coleman, 8 carries, 58 yards, 7.3 average. Why does he have 8 carries and not 20?
It does seem that way.
Right? Like, what's happening here?
I would argue the fact that Matt Ryan has much stronger targets to pass to than the Packers would. I mean, the Packers have receivers, don't get me wrong, but Atlanta has never really been a rushing team. Ironically, since probably Warwick Dunn.
But I mean, that's true, but at the same time, if he's getting 7.3 yards per play, like on average, hand him the ball.
What's his season average though, Rob?
His season average right now is 4.4 yards a carry.
Yeah, that's
pretty good. Still pretty good. Yeah,
that's still pretty good. And he's still only getting like, let's see, 9, 16, 15, 14, 7, 10, 11, 13, 11, 8. So nothing crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it is kind of a similar situation. It does seem like they should be running. Also, this entire game, just looking at this now, was 9-6 going into the fourth quarter.
Yep, it was a terrible, terrible game.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, bam.
Yeah. Well, it came down to a field goal at the end of the game, I believe, to win the game. Like it was like on the last second. I don't remember. It was actually a pretty exciting finish to the game. I remember, but I don't remember much about it.
All right.
Well,
oh yeah.
All right. Steelers Jaguars. I saw the end of that game, and that was that was a classic Jaguars finish if I've ever seen one.
I was scared, Coach. That was my lock of the week, and for 3 quarters, I was like,
yeah, they're getting shut out.
This is the freaking Jags we're talking about,
dude. I called it. I was like, the Jaguars got Roethlisberger's number. They like had 5 picks against them last year. Then another like big game, they shut him out, and like it was looking like it was gonna happen again. And then fourth quarter hit, and I guess they busted out the vodka or something because it just fell apart.
There's the party boat reference right there. All right. Yep. So marking that one down here for the old spreadsheet. There we go. Roethlisberger, he was airing them out and was just airing them out. I mean, 47 passes, only 27 of those 47 were caught.
Yeah.
And they still managed to win somehow, by the way, for those of you who didn't know.
He was 0 for 3 going into the fourth quarter. Like they scored those 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. So like
that's why I was scared.
Yeah. He almost had a 5-pick day like last year.
And the Jaguars, Leonard Fournette came back 95 yards and a touchdown. Carlos Hyde, 44 yards on 8 carries. TJ Yeldon had 23 yards on 5 carries. Like, they were running the ball really well. And then Blake Bortles, 10 of 18, 104 yards.
Yeah. That sounds like a receiver stat right there. As a receiver, that wouldn't be a bad. I mean, hey, that's 20 points right there, Coach. That's a good day.
To be fair, the receivers, oh my God. Leading receiver, Leonard Fournette, 46 yards, 2 receptions. Second was D.D. Westbrook. This is your top wide receiver. 2 catches, 19 yards.
Yeah.
That's pretty your good. Top wide receiver of the day.
I've sat here and I've defended Bortles a lot on this podcast. And I'm just gonna say it right now. And it's not actually going to be shitting on Bortles, but like if you trust him this little to throw the ball, then move on. I guess if that's really what you guys want to do, that you're not going to let him throw in times when he needs to throw, then what are you going to do?
I hear Manziel's still looking for a team now. He's out of the Canadian Football League.
Did he get kicked out of the Canadian Football League too?
I think they were talking about cutting him the last I saw.
Oh wow. Rip.
Remember when he got drafted by the Browns?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? Why is anyone going after this guy?
I got the exact reason why. 2 words. Jimmy fucking Haslam. All right? That's 3 words.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Did you know Johnny Manziel apologized for wasting part of Joe Thomas's career?
He should, honestly.
Yeah.
That guy's going to be a Hall of Famer.
That guy deserved to play for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
He deserves to play with Baker Mayfield right now.
Yeah. Or, anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That was just a garbage situation. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, okay. So again, with the Jimmy Haslam thing, like, that man, I feel like he might have bought the team because he hates the Browns. Like maybe he just has a deep-seated hatred of that team, and that's why. And he wants to tank them because I don't know if you guys read this news story. I don't know if you guys have read this news story over the weekend. I mean, granted, the AP News ended up saying like, no, they're not. But the news story originally broke that the Browns are looking at Condoleezza Rice as their head coach. I have
no way that's real.
Well, Adam Schefter reported it and then talked about it extensively on television. So, like, they did end up eventually. AP ended up posting a story that's saying the Browns are not looking into Condoleezza Rice as the head coach. Mm-hmm. But like that story had some feet initially, and I can't imagine it comes from anywhere besides fucking Haslam's goddamn mouth.
That just seems like one of those. It seems like one of those times that mass media was duped by the Onion, and they just ran with it.
Dude, there's so many lizard men conspiracies about that. By the way, because like the idea is that like, well, maybe it was a canary trap, which a canary trap is like the Tyrion play from Game of Thrones, where you tell a bunch of different people different information to see who's leaking it.
Yeah.
But then, like, you gotta imagine, right? How stupid is the leaker if they're gonna leak that they're looking for Condoleezza Rice as the head coach, right? Like, you should have been able to figure that out without the canary trap if you believe that line of bullshit.
But still, go Browns. Go Browns.
Yeah, go Browns.
I can't wait for them to come back. We've had so many people tweet at us and comment that say that they're actually rooting for the Browns now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think Hippo Nora is not a football fan, but started tracking this and is now a Browns fan.
Yeah, I've been getting people telling me that they've never watched or cared about American football, but they started watching just because of the podcast. And now they're like Browns fans.
Yeah,
now's the perfect time. Now's the perfect time to be a brand new Browns fan because you never saw the last 30 years. In the NFL.
This is the perfect time.
It really is. Like they're literally about to turn the table. So like,
I can't wait, man. I can't wait for next season.
You even get like a little leeway and say that getting to say that you're not a Fairweather fan because you got 1 year of bad Browns games. Like you're working out. Like if they win the Super Bowl next year,
I am legitimately excited about the 2019 Browns season.
Yeah, me too.
I want to see what moves they make in the playoff or in the postseason.
I want to see who their actual head coach is too.
Trust me.
Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be great.
Be good.
Go Browns. Go Browns.
Go Browns. By the way, Jerry Jones really wanted to draft Johnny Manziel. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Bringing home the Texas A&M Aggie. I had to suffer through hearing all my Aggie friends describe Johnny football as the greatest thing since like sliced Jesus.
Remember his first game in the NFL or something where like he got a concussion and the Bengals dude did the money sign after he drilled him?
Yep, that was great.
That was pretty great.
That was you can't do that in the face of like a professional NFL player. Like in college, sure, wave the money signs, whatever. That's great. Make YouTube videos where you're drunk as hell, talking into a phone made out of money. You say, I can't hear you because I'm talking. There's too much effing money. That's fine and all, but just know that you're going to get laid out every single chance a defensive lineman or linebacker gets, because they're going to lay your ass out. And it was
perfect.
Well, speaking of people getting injured, how about that weird Redskins-Texans game and Alex Smith?
Yeah, did you guys see the injury, by the way?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh. Too many times for me. As someone who has suffered a catastrophic ankle injury, I felt that one. Every time I see that, man. And after Rob pointed out the fact that, and by the way, Rob pointed this out. I don't know if it's because you saw the graphic or if you just happened to just know, since it's like,
no, it's because I saw the graphic. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, holy smokes, that is a weird coincidence. And then someone did an even deeper dive to say that not only was it like Theismann's injury, it was on it was to the day and on the same yard line.
Yeah, let's lampshade it for people who didn't see the game. Like that. Okay, so Joe Theismann was a famous Redskins quarterback. Won a Super Bowl with them, I believe, right? Like he won more than one, maybe?
I don't
know. I think he only had one. I'll check on that.
Maybe it was only one. But yeah, he obviously like famous Redskins quarterback. He was playing in a game a long time ago, and he was up against Lawrence Taylor, largely considered the greatest defensive player of all time. Like defensive, not defensive position, like at all, right?
Yeah.
And Lawrence Taylor comes in, sacks him, and he injures him. And the way that he injures him is this incredibly brutal injury that Lawrence Taylor doesn't even want to talk about ever. Like since that day, like he feels so bad about it because he snaps Joe Theismann's shin in half, like his leg bends, and that's it. That was the end of Joe Theismann's career. He never played another snap again.
Yeah,
right?
For the record, he won only one. That was Super Bowl 17.
Only one. Okay, yeah. So 33 years later, to the day, the Redskins are playing at home again. Their quarterback, Alex Smith, gets tackled by another 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, J.J. Watt, and the injury looks frighteningly similar. It's like the exact same thing. Like the way J.J. Watt comes in for the sack is like almost the same thing. And he snaps his shin in this really gruesome, awful injury. Like you honestly don't look it up if you're thinking about looking it up. Yeah. It's awful. It's really.
I mean, out of the two, what I will say is that the Theismann injury is still the worst one out of the two to watch.
Yeah, because Lawrence Taylor falls on it.
Oh God, it's terrible. But like even Theismann even said, I think it was on either on ESPN or Monday Night Football. It was one of the news networks where he actually said like it's really freaking eerie.
Yeah,
like scary coincidence. Yeah,
like, the Theismann one, you like I can see now. You like see it snap. Like you see the actual like.
It's awful.
Oh yeah. It's bad.
It's god awful to watch. Don't ever. For those of you who are curious, trust me, don't.
Yeah,
unless you just don't care. But as someone, like I said, someone who has suffered a catastrophic ankle/leg injury before in sports, I can't watch it. I can watch other injury videos. Like I've seen the Alex Smith one, and it's bad, but it doesn't affect me the way that the Theismann one.
The Theismann is really bad. Yeah,
there was only one other. I just finish this thought real quick. There's only one other injury that I can think of that is as bad as Theismann, but not. I'd say it's on par with Theismann. I don't remember the name of the 49ers lineman that it happened to. I'd have to look it up, but that one was also terrible because he wasn't wearing socks, and you could see the bend, the fold in the skin. What was his name? I think Bryant Young. Yeah. It was Bryant Young. I think that was the name. I'm going to look that up while you finish your thought, Rob.
Well, so I was going to say 33 years to the day Redskins playing at home, Redskins QB goes down. Now, like, okay, that's creepy and cursed, right? Like that's a sports curse already. Hear me out. Both games, in the final score of both games, 23-21, and both injuries took place on the 40-yard line. And Joe Theismann was there to watch Alex Smith get injured in the exact same way on the 33rd anniversary of the last snap of his life. That is the most cursed fucking thing I have ever seen.
Literally last snap. That's a little. Just get it.
Hey-o. No, it's really awful.
It was. That's pretty bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
For the record, it was Bryant Young, and oh my God, I can't watch it. I can't even. I did the Google searches to confirm, and like there's images coming up. I'm not looking at them. I just can't.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
because I saw that one live. I mean, obviously I wasn't there to see the Theismann injury live, but I saw the Bryant Young one, and like I was like, oh God, no! Just shoot him! Put him out of his misery.
Yeah. Man, it is so. That's got to be like. All I'm saying is, if you're a young person watching this podcast and you end up in the NFL, don't be on the Redskins in 33 years. Just don't do it. Just don't do it, because I don't want to be that QB. It's creepy as fuck.
To give you an idea of what it feels like to have your bones crushed like that,
the way that, know that.
Well, I'm going to tell you how it feels is think like the actual sensation of you landing on your own bones and then crushing them. The best way I can describe it is think about sitting on a stack of Pringles, like that are like out of the can. So like if you have a stack of Pringles and then like you just sit on it, that's the sensation of you landing on one of your appendages and breaking the bone. That's what it feels like.
Okay. All right.
What else
happened this game?
I'm just letting you know, Coach. You got to know the injuries, Coach.
I know the injury. 22.
I can show you my scars, Coach.
No, we're good. Texans actually won the game, by the way. Going back to the actual game, Deshaun Watson was okay. He had a touchdown, 2 picks, 208 yards. Lamar Miller,
I think the picks in that case were also not his fault in that one, but I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know. I was watching bits and pieces.
I was stupid enough to pick the Redskins, by the way. You guys
injury aside, Alex Smith was only 12 of 27, 135 yards and 2 picks, so not that great. Colt McCoy came in 6 of 12, 54 yards and a touchdown.
I always like Colt McCoy, man.
Yeah, I think he's got a
great football name too.
It is a good football name, Colt McCoy. If he went to the Colts after Andrew Luck was gone, dude.
Well, he did. Colt McCoy's from UT, I think, University of Texas.
Yeah,
So that's where all that
the
came
Colts. Maybe Colt McCoy to the Broncos, the leader of the sleeping horses.
Oh my god,
the leader of the sleeping horses.
He's already better than what they got.
That's true.
Even if you look at like Colt McCoy's like career stat line, it's not that bad. Like it's 56 40 yards, 60% completion percentage, 27 touchdowns, 23 picks. Like it's pedestrian, but it's like it's not bad. Like he's a good backup, I think.
This could be it. This could be his time to shine.
I hope so. I like Colt McCoy. I really do. I always liked him.
He
got drafted by the Browns. So I mean, like, you know.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Coach, we can't talk about the Redskins-Texans game without me bringing up the bombshell to Rob. Your man, the man of the year for the Jets, Mark Dirty Sanchez, coming back, signing with the Redskins.
You know, fun fact about that.
Mark Sanchez, Coach.
Mark Sanchez is going to play his first snap as a Redskin on the 6-year anniversary of the butt fumble. So, you know, nice. That's a good time.
It's your boy, Rob. It's your boy. Yeah.
By the way, that game largely considered by the Jets fan base as the worst game in Jets history. So, you know.
I can't wait. I'm actually going to watch a Redskins game.
All right. Well, moving on, we had the Titans Colts, where the Colts are actually looking really good.
I'm telling you, dude, they're running the fucking table.
Yeah. Turning it up. Turn up the heat on those Texans.
Andrew Luck, 23 of 29, 300 yards pretty much and 3 touchdowns. Crazy. Dude's rolling. T.Y. Hilton, 155 yards, 2 TDs.
And guess what didn't happen to Andrew Luck again this week?
What?
No sacks.
Oh.
That's 5 straight weeks. That's 0 sacks on Andrew Luck.
Damn. Those are some
good
numbers.
Yeah. Colts are looking kind of scary, I gotta say. Rob is the only one to win though. So what the heck do me and Crendor know about that?
Dude, you know, like Andrew Luck, I feel like he gets unfairly shit on, but he's been on some shitty teams for a long time, man. Yeah. And by the way, this is also, I think, his 5th straight game with 3 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
So like he's balling out right now. He's definitely gonna win comeback player of the year. I don't think that's even in contention right now.
Drew Brees levels of underestimating.
Well, dude, it was the same Drew Brees injury. This is the torn labrum, which, by the way, before Drew Brees, that was basically a career-ending injury. because what the torn labrum is it's like the muscle that holds the shoulder to your back. So you just like tore out all the fibers there, and they rebuilt that in Europe, by the way. And
we got freaking Dr. Rob over here.
Yeah, I mean, I like Andrew Luck, and I'm happy to see him prospering right now. I think they legitimately have a shot at the playoffs here. I mean, they're at 500 right now, and the rest of their schedule doesn't look that intense.
Well, the Texans are on the longest and largest winning streak in the NFL right now. It's 7.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they only play
the Texans are on fire.
Once more. They play the Texans one more time, and the rest of the teams they play are under 500.
Yeah, that showdown when do they play them? In 2 weeks or something like that? That's going to determine exactly who gets to go to the playoffs coming out of the division. Because
now they're 5-5, and the Titans are also 5-5. So there's actually a lot of good AFC South teams. Unless Blaine Gabbert's leading the Titans, in which case. You went 11 of 16, 118 yards, TD int, but you're not gonna win any playoff games with Blaine Gabbert.
You're definitely not gonna win.
Surprisingly, better stats than Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, yeah,
not wrong. Then we had Panthers lose to the Lions because can Cam Newton complete a 2-point conversion check down throw? Pretty much, no, he can't.
No,
and so they lost because of that.
I'm glad I picked them. Rob and Crendor picked the Panthers for that one.
We need to talk about that game a little bit though, because Jack Del Rio, what are you doing, man? I get it. I get wanting to be aggressive, but you have a chance to tie the game with the Lions had, I believe, 3 timeouts at the time or something, or maybe I'm thinking of a different game, but either way, it's still Matt Stafford with a minute anyway.
Yeah. Just
kick the extra point. Tie the game. Just tie the game. Why are you I don't understand why they went for 2 and tried to go for the win. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know, man.
You see, Rob, if you make it, you look like a genius. If you don't, you look like an idiot.
I'll be straight up. I don't think he would have looked like a genius if they won that game like that. I think he would have looked like, we got away with that one. Because I don't know, man.
It's the Lions. Crazy. They're not going to beat you in overtime. You kidding me?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's crazy.
Jack Del Rio, I don't think is the coach of the Panthers, isn't it? Ron Rivera.
Oh yeah, Ron Rivera. You're right. I'm sorry.
Jack Del Rio was the Jaguars.
Yeah. You're right.
For a while, I don't think he's coaching now, but yeah,
he's with the Raiders before John Gruden, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's coaching somewhere, but he might just be not a head coach.
Yeah.
He is a.
I gotta say, after the failed 2-point conversion, and when Carolina was kicking off, they attempted the onside kick. Might be one of the worst onside kicks I've ever seen. It could not have gone straighter right towards the Lions player. The Lions receiver didn't even have to move. He just sat there.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. If you don't go for the 2-point and fail, you don't have to kick an onside kick there. You just kick it to them. Oh man, that blew my mind when he did that. It really
it's
did.
Not like their defense is that bad, right? Their defense.
No,
solid.
They held them to 20.
Yeah.
They didn't the Lions didn't end up scoring on that necessarily. I don't know, man. That seems very strange to me.
They also had Christian McCaffrey, 13 carries, 53 yards, 4-yard average. So you think they'd give him the ball more? I guess he also had 6 receptions for 57 yards, but
yeah.
This is just another. You probably shouldn't have went for the 2-point.
Yeah.
Next up we had Broncos Chargers. There it is, the sleeping horse coming out. Called it.
The sleeping horse.
I told you. I told you the Broncos were going to win, and what do you know? There it is.
The horse has awakened.
I hate that you keep getting rewarded like this. Who in their right mind would have picked the Broncos to beat the 7-2 Chargers at home other than
I gave you the reasons. All right, divisional game. All right, already. That's going to be played closer. The Broncos, I didn't think the Chargers had that hard of a schedule, so I don't think they're as good as they seem. Like, they're good, but they're not like, oh man, we're just gonna steam. They're not like Chiefs or Rams or something. And it's just I think the Broncos were like, hey, you know what? Let's win this divisional game. Let's go, and they did. I think they're fed up.
We're a bunch of sleeping horses. We're about to wake
up. Sleeping horses. So, yeah.
You know what? The other thing with the Broncos too, similarly to the stuff that we've been talking about today, is Philip Lindsay. Their running back, the undrafted running back, who's been like killing it. Like every week, this guy's killing it. And they're splitting carries between him and Royce Freeman. And I don't know, man. Like I see those games and I'm like, I like Royce Freeman seems pretty good. Philip Lindsay seems better. I would just give it to him more. They did in this game, in fairness, but they split carries, 11 carries for Philip Lindsay and 7 for Royce Freeman. And I get it. Royce Freeman was a 3rd round pick, like you spent to pick on him, and Philip Lindsay's undrafted. But like, if he's got the hot hand, go with him,
Yeah.
I mean, granted, Royce Freeman still scored a touchdown on the day, so it's not like he's doing terribly or anything. But at the same time, it's just every time I watch. Every time I flip on a Broncos game, it's like Philip Lindsay with the big run. I'm like, hand it to him. Go.
Yeah, it's maybe it is a common theme of just the guys running well and nobody wants to run him. Like I don't get it. And then Chargers, Melvin Gordon only 69 yards, so they contain Melvin Gordon pretty well.
Yeah, that's going to be a big game for teams in the playoffs going up against the Chargers. They'll watch this game and see what they did to Melvin Gordon. Because I mean, the rest of the year he's been just demolishing people.
Yeah,
it was kind of nice to see Antonio Gates finally go back to like standard old school Gates form, putting up some solid numbers. And Rivers, I mean, threw 401 for 2 is not bad.
Yeah,
no,
I just can't believe that they lost to the Broncos at home. They had so much momentum going into this game.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy.
Told you, not that crazy.
Coach is always listen to Coach, even though he's got the worst pick'em record. But
well, that's because I'll take some other dumb games, but like this one, I was pretty sure about. Like you
called it down. The Bills beat the Patriots. Coach has lost his damn mind.
Like you get like the Bills over the Bears and stuff like that. It doesn't go very well, but you know what? Some of those you get, and when they're that big of a point spread difference, like hey, that's an upset. Speaking of upsets, the Raiders upset the Cardinals 23-21.
Can't believe it. I called a tie. I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, I'm actually going to. It's going to be a miracle, Coach.
Does that mean that the Arizona Cardinals are the worst team in football?
I'll tell you that in the power rankings, Coach. But Derek Carr, 192 for 2, not too shabby. And honestly, Doug Martin looked pretty good.
Yeah.
He did splitting carries with Jalen Richard. He looked decent. I'm happy for Doug because he's a good guy.
Yeah.
I also will say that Gruden looked like genuinely fired up and happy that they won. Like he actually looked like I don't know. I saw when him and Carr were fired up after the game was over. I was like, they look like they were actually kind of happy they won. Like.
Yeah,
as in they weren't trying to tank this, and they've actually just been struggling with personnel issues, whatever. But that seemed like genuine excitement.
It doesn't really happen in the NFL. Like they don't really try to tank. I think in this case, I think the Raiders might not be trying to tank either.
Yeah.
Like, Gruden was just he and what if you watch the highlights on that or you see clips of it, look towards the end of the game when Carr comes out, like after the game is over, it's been decided. I mean, Gruden's fired up and Carr. They look so happy, man.
Yeah,
they definitely
good job, Chucky. Way to go.
Good for them.
Yeah, good job. Way to go, Chucky.
Josh Rosen completed 9 passes, by the way.
Rob, what's your take on that, your boy?
He's a rookie. End of the day, it doesn't matter. The thing is, like, you gotta take it. Like with QBs, here's the thing. I do get excited when a rookie QB has a good day, of course. But but logically, I still know that like until you get 3 years into a QB, you just don't know who they are. A QB can have 2 great years and still regress to the mean. Like
Jared Goff wasn't even that good his first year.
Oh, he was very bad. He threw more picks than touchdowns.
Oh, man,
there are a lot of people who are already labeling him as a bust. Yeah. And like the reality is, dude, like you gotta wait him out. You gotta see who they are because you don't know in the rookie year. You just don't.
Yeah.
We still don't know who of the 4 rookies that we've seen or 5 rookies that we've seen QBs this year. I don't know. I don't know who's the best. Right now it looks like Baker's the best, but yeah. I mean, but you don't know. You don't know.
They are who they thought we were.
Yeah.
What about that?
They are who we thought they were.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I thought the Eagles are someone else, and they got destroyed by the Saints. So
they got fucking stomped.
It wasn't even a game. I hate praising the Saints, but the Saints they're scary this year again.
Oh, they're crazy scary.
They're insane. Like everyone's like, God, the Chiefs and the Rams. It's like, oh, look at the Saints.
If only Drew Brees wasn't so underrated.
22-30, 363 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks.
I hope he finally gets his MVP. I hope. I'd love to, dude. And I'm sorry, it's Invicta, but I like Drew Brees. Obviously, I'd love to see him just sail off into the sunset. Beautiful way for Drew Brees to end his career in New Orleans, and they are looking like I don't know who stops him. Yeah. Honestly.
Well, obviously the Bucs do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Carson Wentz, 3 picks, 156 yards, 0 touchdowns. They have no running back. Josh Adams, 53 yards on 7 carries, but when you're down by 40 points, you don't really want to run it. Golden Tate is their leading receiver, who they traded for. Alshon Jeffrey at 33 yards.
I mean, I think that's a quarterback issue more than a receiver because they've got some solid receivers on that team. It's just that's got to be one of the quickest, most disappointing turnarounds.
No, it's not even that. It's like they look like the classic Chargers year right now. Like half of their team is injured. Like they're dead right now. Like it's rough. It's rough out there for Eagles fans, I feel like.
Yeah. But the Saints were just teeing off on them, Coach.
Oh my God.
That was
ugly.
Sad. So Eagles, sorry, I think you're done. But hey, you had fun last year. Maybe you'll come back.
All 3 of us, for the record, picked the Saints, and for the Raiders game, I picked a tie. Rob and Crandor both picked the Cardinals.
I also
who do the Saints? Yeah, well, I should have done that, honestly. Who do the Saints lose to the rest of the year? They got the Falcons. They're going to beat them. The Cowboys. They're definitely going to beat them. The Bucs. Sorry, Victor, but they're probably going to beat you this time around. I know.
We have the one on the one there, Rob. All right.
I mean,
the Bucs have done it. They can do it again.
2 Panthers games. Like their last 3 weeks are against teams that are above 500.
I'm gonna intervene and say that I don't think that the Falcons game is going to be such a pushover. It's just because it's the NFC South teams play each other on a different level than any other team.
It's a divisional game. All the divisional teams see each other every year. They hate each other. They know the other players, and it's that much. That's why I picked the Broncos to beat the Chargers, because it's a divisional game. If it was just like Broncos versus like the fucking Dolphins, I'd be like, I don't think I was gonna win this.
Yeah. No, the Falcons have always historically given the Saints trouble. So I still think that in that game the Saints will win, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah, I could see the Saints losing like 2 more games, maybe even 3 if like something happened. But like I think they'll lose 2 more.
Yeah, those last 3 weeks are tough. Like that's Panthers, Steelers, Panthers.
Yeah.
So I mean that could be rough. But I mean they also do have a very good defense too.
Yeah.
So that has gotten better over the year, over the season. So like I don't know, man. They might run the table here at the end. It could happen.
I'm gonna say it's not gonna happen though.
I think it's unlikely. But.
Well, then we have the Bears Vikings, which I was watching.
Khalil Mack is just an absolute monster.
He's a monster.
I really wish the Packers would have got him.
Yeah,
that would have been very nice.
My one gripe with that game it has to do with Khalil Mack, and it was a headline that Khalil Mack shoves a 350-pound lineman down to the ground with one arm. That was the headline that you would see on like ESPN or whatever. It's like, no, he didn't shove. It's not like he took 350 pounds with one arm and like forced him, like lifted him off and like threw him to the ground. It's he nudged a falling lineman who was already off on the back foot down.
Yeah.
Like let's not get it twisted. Like, don't make it seem like that Khalil Mack can move 350 pounds with one arm. This is not going to happen. Like,
you're right.
It was just the guy falling backwards.
He got into that block position, that stance, so fast because he's afraid of Khalil Mack, though. At the same time. But
I'm saying you can't write it.
I know. I agree. You know. But still, I mean, he's a force. He's just a monster.
The thing is, like, the Bears' defense in general is just really good. Like Akeem Hicks had 5 tackles for losses that game.
Yeah.
Oh, like, I enjoyed my fantasy points starting the Bears defense. I was happy.
The Vikings did make some dumb penalties. They're like hitting people out of bounds, doing whatever. They almost came back, but it's like too little, too late type of thing. But still, I think the Bears will win the division.
You talk about a totally comatose rushing game. When you mention bad rushing teams, it's hard to not look at the Vikings. Because good Lord.
That's
I mean, now granted, they were going up against like one of the top defenses that I think you can, but still, it is just abysmal. 9 carries for 12 yards for Dalvin Cook. The best rusher was Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. You're not going to win a lot of games if your star running back has 9 carries for 12 yards.
Against the Rams, Dalvin Cook had 10 carries for 20 yards. The only game he had more than that was the Lions, 10 carries, 89 yards. And I mean, that's the Lions. Come on.
It's hard to believe I used to have him on my fantasy team this year, Coach. But I dropped him like a bad habit. Kirk Cousins didn't look that bad against a stellar defense. Like
That's what Kirk Cousins does. He doesn't look bad, but he's never like amazing. That's
exactly
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, he's a top 10. If you look at his stat line, if I put his stat line next to Matt Stafford's stat line and I take away the names, you'd be hard to tell them apart. He's like a top 10 QB, but he's not an Aaron Rodgers. You know,
he reminds me of like Phillip Rivers almost.
Yeah,
he is. He's a little Riversy. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And he just can't win. Like, he's always up there in the stats, but he just can never win.
I still maintain that he reminds me more of a good Cutler than anything. Jay Cutler when he's actually playing well.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens with the Vikings. The Bears do look like they're gonna run away with that division, though.
They're gonna do it. I don't think Packers will catch them or anyone else.
How about those Packers, Coach? How you feeling about that division?
The Bears have been bad since I think 2010 when we beat them in the NFC Championship game to go to win the Super Bowl. But ever since then, they fell apart. Because that's when Cutler he stopped playing. He just gave up, and then the defense kind of fell apart. Urlacher retired. All the things happened, and then they've been bad ever since. So even though I don't like the Bears and I live here, so I don't like Bears fans. It's still I still felt bad for him all right, they need to start getting good again. Because it would hit the point where it's Packers Bears and we'd win 30-7. And I'm I like when these were fun to watch.
Yeah. True. It's not much of a rivalry when one team's just shitting on the other team.
Yeah,
True or false, do you think the Packers have a real shot at making the playoffs this year? True or false?
Before last week, my playoff hopes were at about a 75%. My playoff hopes have dropped to about 40%. My fire Mike McCarthy hopes, however, have shot up to about 98%, which I'm very excited about. Also, fun little Mike McCarthy stat here for everybody listening at home.
There we go.
NFL.com's Chris Wesling noted that no coach in the past 4 years has gone into the final 5 minutes of a game with 1 or fewer timeouts more than Mike McCarthy. Great stat. That's some Andy Reid tier timeout management.
Well, talking about that going into the big game here, because I think it's the last game we've got. Rams and Chiefs. Barn burner.
100 points.
105.
I was talking to him. I was talking to the guys before we started recording, and I said, like, I feel pretty happy that I said that I think we're going to see at least 80 points on this, but I didn't realize that was going to be an underestimate.
Yeah.
105 points.
This is the third
hilarious.
highest scoring game in NFL
Ever.
history. Yeah. Like, that's crazy.
And Rob was the only one who picked the Rams. Rob called it.
Yeah.
Well, so, I mean, like, the reason...
This game could have gone either way, though. Just to make sure.
That's what I was going to say. Is
either
like,
way.
The
It's a
reason
literal coin flip.
The reason I picked the Rams is because I think that the Rams have a more complete team. Like, I feel like their offense and defense is a little bit closer than the Chiefs are, because the Chiefs are, it's a lot of offense and then like barely any defense.
Yeah.
But honestly, it really, and this often happens in shootouts, it really just came down to who had the ball last. I mean, pretty much. It wasn't even necessarily they didn't win for the reason that I said that they would win necessarily.
Well,
crazy.
I cannot believe that the coaching staff would be so bad. I even said it in our group chat, which of course none of you listening to this or watching this know. But I was like, what are the Rams doing? Why in the world are you passing it? There is no good reason. Like, one of the few times I can say that I agreed with Booger McFarland was that I understand aggressive play calling, but you've got the game wrapped up. You get a first down, the game's over. They have one timeout. Every single pass that's an incomplete, you're giving the opposing team a timeout. There's no reason to start passing the ball on first down. You just got the ball back on interception. How do you not win the game? This is how you start passing the ball on first and second down after getting a game-winning interception. Yeah, but like it's easy, and this is what I also said in there is that it gives the conspiracy nuts like a whole lot of fuel for the fire to say like, oh, the only logical explanation is someone in the NFL said we've got millions of people watching. Everyone's expecting this game. Let's make it exciting. Let's make sure that Mahomes gets it back and see if the Chiefs can do it again. Like that. Other than that, I don't see any reason why you would ever try to do that. You grind. First down.
Todd Gurley.
Yeah, with Gurley. Like, how are you not running Gurley on that? Give him the ball. The game's over. One first down, done. Game's over. I could not believe that they let Mahomes get that back, and Reed still had one timeout.
Yeah,
it was unbelievable. I could not believe what I was seeing.
I mean, normally I agree with you in that particular argument of like, yeah, run the ball if you're up, right? However, in this game, I mean, it's the third highest scoring game in NFL history. You know what they can do. So like every time you have the ball, like did they punt in this game? They punted like what? Like twice? There were 4 punts in the game. Oh wait, no, actually I'm lying. I actually don't know how many punts there were, but I'm just gonna just straight up like you have to score every time you have the ball in this game, and it's like college football. Like I can see why they would want to do what was working, which is passing the ball. Like I get it.
I completely disagree with you, but okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, like Todd Gurley had a fine day. Like if you look at the stat line, but he 12 carries, 55 yards, 4.6 average. Now he had a long run of 24 yards. So if we take that out, right? So like 55 minus 24 is 31 yards divided by 11 carries. He's only at 2.8 yards per carry.
Yeah, but you're not trying to go for the score though. To go even. Yeah,
you're trying to get the first down. Yeah. But that's the thing. Like
you don't pass it on first and second down.
But like this game, this is the only time that I would disagree with you. Is in this game, I get it because they were only picking up yards through the air, and so like I understand their reasoning here. Like, get the first down the way that we've been getting first downs, which is give Jared Goff the ball, because he was balling out in that game. He had 31 to 49, 413 yards, 4 touchdowns. Actually, no, four passing touchdowns. He had a rushing touchdown in addition to that. So, like, I in this particular case, I get it. I understand why you wouldn't try to run the clock here, because if you don't score, then it's scary with the Chiefs.
But you're not trying to score though. Like, if
you're trying to get the first down.
By your logic, you're saying, well, they know what the Chiefs can do. It's like, well, the last thing you want to do is give them the ball with a timeout. If they know that it's going to be a shootout, it's like just grind the ball out. Just take a run, force them to use the timeout. You get 2 more runs, and if you don't get the first down, maybe they've got 20 seconds at best with no timeout to do it, and then you just got to say, hey, all we got to do is just stop them from scoring a touchdown. It's all we got to do. And that's it. To me, there is no good excuse to not run the ball, especially with someone like Gurley, who, stats aside, who cares about the stats? You're just trying to burn the clock. It doesn't matter. Even if Goff decided to go for a sneak up the middle for 1 yard, at least the clock is ticking. I mean, you don't pass on first and second down. That is just that I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Yeah. I'm interested to hear what Coach's take is on this.
Well, I think, despite all that, the big thing here was the turnovers, because Pat Mahomes had 3 interceptions.
Yeah, and a fumble.
Yeah. Which,
with one of those interceptions being at the very end of the game.
If he would have, didn't do those things, I probably could have won my fantasy game this week, and that would have been phenomenal. I just also happened to go up against Jared Goff this week, which was another great thing to have happen.
Oh yeah, Mm-hmm.
But Tyreek Hill got me a lot of points.
It made me.
There were a lot of turnovers in this game.
Yeah. It made me think, like, how do you stop this?
You mean like in general in the NFL?
Because the NFL's had a lot of shifts where it's like, we do the run and gun, and then it's like, now this takes over, like Greatest Show on Turf, or like, now they start bombing it downfield, the Wildcat, now they're doing this, and now it almost feels like a college football game type of thing, which I think a lot of it they do take, like Wildcat, they obviously took from college football, but like, how do you think they scheme going forward to like stop these types of offenses? Because I don't know.
I don't know.
You gotta force them to make mistakes. I mean, that's
the thing. That's the traditional theory, right? Is like, you pass rush, right?
Yeah.
And you get turnovers. But they got turnovers. Yeah. It was still the 3rd highest scoring game in NFL history.
Do you
got a lot of turnovers?
You go like 1 lineman, like 2 linebackers, and like a bunch of secondary players? Like,
I don't know.
What do you do? Like, do you get like some bigger like secondary guys, or like a faster linebacker? Like, there has to be something that happens that shifts the way defense is played.
I mean, you have to just run like special package blitzes and try to just throw them off guard. I mean, they're both of their lines, the Rams and the Chiefs offensive lines are stellar. They're S rank quality linemen.
Yeah. Well, like when the Packers played the Rams, we almost shut them out the first half. Yeah. And I was like, well, why didn't the Chiefs do that? But I guess the Chiefs defense is just not.
Well, neither of these teams have good defenses, in my opinion. They just don't. The Rams. They win by out shooting, by outgunning their opponents. That's basically it. The Rams have a better defense than the Chiefs, I'll say that, but that's not by much. And what I saw from Mahomes is that you could tell that he was rattled in the fourth quarter after he threw the second interception. You could definitely see it. I don't really. I mean, he threw the third one, but again, that was in garbage time at the very end. Yeah, they had a chance, but his arm got hit, and it was kind of like. I mean, it's not really his total fault, but I think that the only way that you try to disrupt an offense like that is just you've got to start running something that is not standard. You can't sit back in a 3-4 drop and think that, I'm just going to cover these receivers, because especially when you're talking about, I think that the Chiefs have a better receiving core than the Rams by far, in my opinion.
Yeah, they do.
They just have more weapons than that. The Rams get the pressure off of Goff because of Gurley being such a hoss, and to throw off both of those types of styles, one defense can't do it. I mean, they just can't do it. The only way you can is to hope that you can force them into making up a bad play, or you just get lucky with a fumble. I mean, both teams are beatable clearly, but it's hard. it's a difficult game to win.
Both these teams are just gonna outgun you no matter what you do defensively.
Yeah.
Like
even the Saints.
Yeah,
it's like another one.
Yep.
It's crazy right
Unless
now.
you're the Bucs, because the Bucs beat the Saints.
Well, but you guys beat them by outgunning them. Actually,
we did.
That's the only way to do it. That's it.
And that was the game of the year, Rob.
Yep. It all went downhill after that.
Well, so one thing that I noticed while I was watching the game, and I'd love to actually see the percentage breakdown, but like specifically, even especially the Rams, I noticed there were not a lot of blitzes this game. Like there were almost none that I saw.
Yeah.
Like these were usually, like, even on these turnovers, they were 4-man rushes. Like they were going man to man every fucking play with every person is covered, and we're just doing base set to rush. And they still, not only did they get a bunch of sacks and turnovers, and every receiver was covered, and there were like barely any blitzes. Like I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do. They got interior pressure. It didn't matter. Like, it's crazy. This game was insane.
It was insane. And one thing I noticed, I think somebody pointed out, I think it was Reddit, is that Pat Mahomes' quarterback rating was still higher than Jared Goff's rating.
Yeah.
Even though he threw 3 interceptions, it was still higher, which is like
6 passing touchdowns, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess either quarterback rating is kind of a flawed stat a little bit, or it's just all about. It is. Yeah. It's fun to look at, though.
I mean, Tyreek Hill putting up 215 with 2 TDs. Oh man.
Yeah, it's insane.
That equated to 43 points for me, and I was fine with that, even though I lost badly this week in fantasy.
In a normal game, one receiver having 10 receptions and more than 100 yards is a great game for that wide receiver. The Chiefs had 2 receivers with 10 receptions and over 100 yards. One of them had 200 yards.
One of them's a tight end.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. This is a wild game. By the way, I do want to mention Brandon Cooks. Seems like that was a good fucking call on them picking him up for that first round pick.
Yeah, he worked out pretty well.
That is very good, in fact.
We could be looking at the Super Bowl rematch here.
You really could.
It's possible. Or it could be Saints Chiefs, Or
that
it could be Patriots somebody else again.
Oh my
God. Bill Belichick's just like, why don't we just do this thing to shut them down? They get like shut out.
I mean, the NFL.
What if after this ridiculous year, it's Giants Patriots in the Super Bowl?
That'd be so great. I would love that.
That would be hilarious.
I would love that so much, and then Rob would be picking the Giants anyway.
Oh, of course I would. Yeah, absolutely.
I think the NFL's wet dream would be this game again, but in a Super Bowl setting.
They would love that. All right. Well, that's this week in football. Let's move on to power rankings.
Power rankings, Coach Krendor. Here we go. Going into week 12. Rob, I'm going to throw it right to you. 1, 2, 3, go.
Saints, Rams, Chiefs.
Hard questions there. The Chiefs did drop down to number 3 because the Rams beat them number 2. Easy. Yep. Coach Krendor, can you round out? I'm gonna give you. I'll give you 3 guesses to name 7 of the remaining top 10 teams. Coach, can you do it?
All right. Patriots.
That's 1.
Probably the Bears.
That is 2.
Probably the Steelers.
That's correct. The Steelers actually leapfrogging the Patriots thanks to the bye week. It goes Steelers 4, Patriots 5, Chargers falling to 6, but still remaining in the top 10. Bears rising 2 up to 7. And then Texans, Panthers, and the Vikings still rounding out the top 10s over such notable teams as the Baltimore Ravens, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Indianapolis Colts.
How are the Vikings higher than the Colts? That doesn't even make any sense.
Don't ask questions, Coach. This is the Bible of the internet here at NFL.com Power Rankings. Now, who do you think out of all the teams? I'll pass it up to the analyst desk here for both of you. Who do you think has fallen the most? There are 2 teams that have fallen that have tied for the farthest drops on the NFL Power Rankings on NFL.com NFL.
It's got to be Eagles one.
Rob?
Yeah, I'd say Eagles and Bengals?
Coach?
I'd say Eagles, probably Packers, actually.
Yeah, it might be.
It's you were correct with the Eagles. They dropped from 19th to 24th. And the other team that has dropped 5 places has been the Tennessee Titans, Coach. Getting absolutely mollywopped, shellacked by the Colts. Earned you 5 down ranks there. Now, here comes my favorite part. This is my personal favorite part of the entire podcast, where Rob and I get to rank our teams, Rob. And here we go. True or false, Rob? True or false? The Oakland Raiders are now above the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, fuck. False, right? It's got to be false. Oh, wait. Yeah, no, it's got to be false. Wait, no, wait. Hold on. I got confused in my head.
Okay,
here.
I'll say it again.
I'm just gonna. No. I will. I'll say it because I'm gonna fuck up. So I'll just say I think that the Bucs have to be ranked higher than the other team that I've now forgotten.
The Jets. Your team.
No, weren't we talking about another? We're talking about another team. Or another team.
No, we're talking about the Jets.
Oh well, dude. You know what? Just tell me because I'm fucked. My brain.
No, it was the Raiders and the Bucs. I'm messing with you.
Oh, okay.
That is true. The Bucs are still ranked above the Raiders. Buccaneers now at the 26th spot. Now here's the real one for you, Rob, and I can't wait for you to wrestle with this one. True or false? The Oakland Raiders are ranked above the New York Jets, Rob.
Oh, god damn it. By the same logic, they can't be above us, right?
That is incorrect, Rob. The Raiders have risen from the doldrums of the NFL from 32 to 30th. The Jets maintain their second to worst team in the NFL at the 31st position. Congrats, with the Cardinals now slipping on into the worst team in the NFL, sitting at 2-8, falling from 29th to 32nd. Back to you in the booth, Coach Crendor. That is this week's Power Rankings.
Ooh, congratulations on being that far down in the list. Very nice.
Yeah, thank you, Coach.
All right, well, let's just hop right into the pick'ems.
Yeah,
let's pick them.
Am I too late to be on the show?
Oh,
Whoa!
hey, Bear.
Oh,
you're
surprise,
you're
Bear.
right on time.
Is this the kind of show where I can just show up 2/3 of the way into it? Is that okay?
Yeah,
we're like 9/10 of the way.
We're not going to kick you out.
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
Here we go.
Here I go.
Thanksgiving's Day. We got some football happening. Bears at Lions is the first one.
I showed up on cue.
You did.
You're
really because we said Bears, or was just because
oh yeah, I get the joke.
I got you.
Yeah, we're all taking Bears, right?
Of course.
No.
Yeah,
I'm going.
You don't not. Coach Crendor getting drunk off the tryptophan early.
I'm telling you, the Bears just had a late night game. They're tired. They're worn out. They got to go to Detroit. You got to travel. Lions are pumped. They're playing at home Thanksgiving. They got to win it for the Turkey Day. Lions take it.
All right.
Well, Turkey Day mark a loss right here next to Crendor.
I'm telling you, the Lions are this week's sleeping horse.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Redskins at Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Yeah,
I'm
especially
taking
with the Dirty Sanchez coming back.
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys at home it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, you know, let's go with the Cowboys there. That's not a Redskins win.
Yeah.
It's just if Alex Smith wasn't injured, I'd say Redskins, but I think it's gonna be rough.
Guy. Oh.
Yeah.
You missed that segment.
You'll have to listen this week, Bear.
I didn't want to talk about that.
Falcons at Saints.
Hey, Bear, do you know what it feels like to sit on your own ankle? I could describe it for you real quick.
Falcons at
That's
Saints.
okay. This is a good game.
This is a good game. I got to go Saints, though.
Yeah,
I think the Saints are on a fucking rampage this year.
Yeah, they're just monsters.
I want to pick the Falcons, Coach, but I got to pick the Saints.
Come on.
I'm sorry. I want to pick
no one's fun anymore on this show, man.
Yeah.
All right. Whatever. What's fine. All right. So, Saints, if the Falcons do win this game, though, we need to shame Sinvicta. For not
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, shame me. Yeah, not the other guys who picked the Saints.
Well, okay. Browns at Bengals.
Go Brownies. Go Browns.
Go Browns.
Browns are going to destroy this game.
Browns all year, dude.
Browns are going to beat the new Browns. Are definitely going to beat the Cat Browns.
Yeah.
Browns are going to win out.
Yeah,
6-2 on the season. Those get another tie just for fun, and then they'll make the playoffs somehow.
I like it.
I agree. I'm with it.
I'm legitimately. I can't wait for next year, man. I'm turning into a Browns fan. 2019 is going to be so exciting for the Browns.
Well, speaking of being a fan of a team, 49ers and Buccaneers.
49ers.
Jeez. Oh man. It's like the Bucs can win this game, right? Come on.
Yeah. They should. It's so confusing. The Buccaneers.
Take it from a Bucs fan.
Confusing.
Go 49ers.
They're going to win this one. Come on.
I'm picking 49ers.
You are? Okay, I'm picking the Bucs for sure.
Bear, before you pick the Bucs, I just want to. We read a stat earlier. I'm going to read it for you. Okay?
Yeah, please.
You watched yesterday's Monday Night Football, right?
I watched the last of it. It was crazy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's insane. Okay, so hear me out. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had more yards against the Washington Redskins than the Los Angeles Rams had against the Kansas City Chiefs.
And the
Bucs scored 3 points. The Rams scored 54.
Okay, lightning can't strike twice, right?
Yeah.
In the same place. No, that's Tampa Bay is they are free from the storm for one more week here.
Give me the Bucs.
Yeah, you guys are crazy.
You're taking the
Bucs.
I'm taking the Niners too, actually.
Yeah, there we go.
Nick Mullins, the GOAT. The GOAT's coming in, baby.
All right.
Niners are going to destroy the Bucs. I might lock it in. I might lock it in.
Oh my God.
Oh
goodness! Wow.
I'm not saying I am. I might.
All right.
This is what, if you're not a football fan, just be aware. If you pick a bad team, this is what it looks like mid-season. This is what mid-season looks like. All right.
Yeah. Welcome to Tampa Bay, New Jersey over here.
So we now have the Jaguars at Bills.
Oh boy.
Humdinger.
Bills are gonna win.
I think the Bills are gonna win as well.
Bills are like, what the fuck's going on with them? All of a sudden they're okay.
Who is even their QB?
Josh Allen might start this week.
Right.
Oh, really? Oh, boy.
And he hurdled a man.
I know. That's what I'm afraid of. He's going to try to do it again.
I got Bills.
Yeah, I'm going Bills.
I'm going to go Jaguars.
Rob's still on the portal screen.
Jalen Ramsey said Bills rookie quarterback Josh Allen is trash.
Shit.
Damn.
I mean, in fairness, didn't he also say like Tom Brady is trash?
Well, probably.
You can't really.
It's Jalen Ramsey.
You got a grain of salt with Jalen Ramsey.
Bills are at home too. Jaguars just don't. I don't see their offense. Well, then again, Leonard Fournette's coming back.
Actually, you know what? Let's go. I'm gonna go Jaguars on this one.
Oh my God, all these turncoats.
I know.
Bills.
It's the only one I've flipped on so far. Like the Jaguars, they've been so close in all the games they've played, and the Bills are not that good. And
before you said that, I was about to switch to Bills too.
Oh no!
Because it is a home game in an open air stadium in Buffalo.
Yeah,
that could end up
seasons like over already though, almost.
Well, yeah, their seasons, but what I'm both these teams, their seasons are over.
Yeah.
But the Jags are a Florida team, and they're going into Buffalo in what could be like it's Buffalo. Like this could be a snow game. We could start getting.
Let me check the weather. Sunday we've got 44 degrees.
It's not like the fucking Jacksonville players are going to go, well, snow. What's that? Oh my god!
What's all this white stuff on the ground?
All right, Bear, you convinced me. I'll stay with the Jags.
Well, I'm gonna stay with the Bills.
I'm staying with the Bills.
Yeah.
Rip Hippo Nora's guess for that one. Have fun.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this game's a shit show. It's gonna be a shit show, whatever happens.
Yeah.
Raiders at Ravens. Ravens, please.
Ooh, yeah, Ravens.
Ooh, yeah. That's Ravens.
I want to see Lamar kill some people.
Lamar James.
You gotta be careful with that when you're talking about the Ravens, dude.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
And the Raiders, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, with the Raiders.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Someone
stabbings
might die during this game.
In fact, lock it in. Ravens.
Someone will die.
Someone will be stabbed during this game.
And someone will be stabbed. Lock it in.
Lock it in. There will be
Lock
at least
it in.
one murder.
I would like to say for the record, Sinvicta on the internet does not condone nor lock in the fact that someone may actually get stabbed at this. This is all on the other three here. I'm staying out of this one.
But yeah, I'm locking in the Ravens.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Seahawks at Panthers.
Oh, huh.
Tough game.
That's a tough game.
Tough game, coach. I got to go Seahawks, though.
I mean, I think the Seahawks on that, too, yeah.
I think the Panthers rebound from their shitty Detroit loss and win.
Didn't we say that last week, though?
No. They're at home this time.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm still going Seahawks.
Okay.
I think I might need stats for this one, boys.
Dude, Seahawks, they have no chance of losing this game. They've been playing the best teams in the league like week after week after week.
And they beat the Packers.
They beat the Packers, which is pretty good.
It was one of the Packers beating themselves again for the third time.
They had the Packers, the Rams, the Chargers, the fucking who was before that? They had they had the Lions before that, so I guess it wasn't really all that much. But like 3 weeks in a row, some of the best teams in the league. They have been playing at a high level. I think they're gonna take it to the Panthers.
I don't think so. I think Panthers win.
Go! Wait, hold on. The Seahawks beat the Lions. The Lions beat the Panthers. Therefore, the Sea Panthers are going. The Sea Panthers will win. That's right. And that's right. That's my lock of the week.
The Sea Panthers.
The Sea Panthers are going to win this one.
So what Rob's really saying is it's going to be a tie, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I'm taking the Seahawks. Yeah.
Okay, well,
no, let's just skip past this next one.
Again,
here we go, Bear. Welcome back. Ready to
go.
Patriots at Jets.
Oh man, it's weird that I showed up right before the pick'em started. Talk about this game here.
We missed you last week, Bear.
I know.
We're all picking the Patriots, right?
Now I think the Jets got a chance on this one. It's like New York may be able to pull one out of the woodwork here and stick it to good old Tom Brady.
I am.
Please say you're locking in for the Patriots.
I am honorably inclined to take.
Oh God! You're not a true Jets fan.
I can't do it. I can't pick against them. I'm honor bound to pick them.
I picked against the Bucs going up against the 49ers in Tampa.
You're a bad fan, all right? You're a bad fan. I have to pick the Jets. I have no choice.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Sam Darnold might not even play, by the way. Yeah, that seems kind of fair, actually.
I'm going to go ahead and lock the Patriots.
Yeah, that's a fair one, honestly.
Well,
Sam Darnold may not even play. Yeah, he might not play this game, too. So, yeah.
Are they just like cashing it in early on this?
I don't know, dude. Actually, no. Legitimately, they might be. He might not play the rest of the year because he's out of the walking boot. I just read an article about this to find out if he's playing because it's a bye week and they're doing their bye week practices right now. And he's out of the walking boot. They talked to him. He said, "Yeah, it feels great. There's no pain at all." And he's not practicing. So
that's bad.
But he was seen with a Nintendo Switch playing Let's Go Pikachu, by the way.
Wait, was he actually?
No, I'm making a joke.
Oh man, I believed it.
I did
I would've
too,
liked it
actually.
more.
It sounds like something Darnold would do.
So yeah, everybody but Rob picking the Patriots.
Yeah.
Locking it in.
Giants at Eagles. I'm taking the Giants.
Yep.
You are? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Eagles look
taking
bad.
Giants.
They're injured. They're beat up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
take a second and look at stats before I pick it, but
Okay.
The big shocker there. Rob's gonna take a second to look at a stat.
yeah, but like it's different here because both
Giants-
these
well-
teams are bad.
The Giants are on the upswing, and the Eagles have been skidding.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
how
I
I'm going,
do. I
Giants.
do see where the logic is in the pick there. I might go to the Giants as well.
I'm taking Giants.
Philadelphia has the 12th ranked rushing defense, and if Saquon's not having a day, but I don't know, I'll take the Giants too.
Eli's been turning
Alright.
it around a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, here's one. Cardinals at Chargers. I think
Oh boy.
all of
That's
us.
certainly a football game.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
clearly an easy lock for the
It is.
Cardinals. I mean,
Right.
come on.
Yeah,
I'll go
yeah.
AZ on this one.
Obviously.
Hell yeah.
It is very simple. Yeah, it's Chargers. Yeah.
All
Chargers.
Yeah.
All Chargers.
Yeah.
Um,
Although
No.
don't
No,
do it.
although.
I was just playing as Rob.
All
Yeah,
right.
okay.
Dolphins at Colts. Give me some Colts.
Colts.
Yeah,
Colts.
Colts.
Colts are
Colts,
rolling.
baby.
Mhm.
Here's a
So
good
here
one.
we go. Here we go,
Steelers at
Coach.
Broncos.
Here you go, Coach. Let's hear it.
Broncos.
Let's hear
No,
it.
Steelers are gonna win.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm Steelers. I'm picking the Steelers here on this
Yeah.
one.
I'm gonna give the Broncos another chance at a trap game.
I'm taking the Broncos.
Wow.
Why would
yeah,
you
yeah.
do that?
Wow.
That's dumb.
I'm taking
Steelers
the
have been-
Broncos.
Very dumb.
Steelers have been streaking for sure.
The Steelers
but-
almost lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars this week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was obvious.
And hear me out. The Broncos don't even have a good defense. They're 22nd ranked.
Yeah, but they are in Mile High.
That's
but
a fair
the
point.
Steelers-
Yeah.
Steelers,
I'm-
they'll be fine.
I'm taking the Broncos.
Rams only beat the
Alright.
Broncos by 3 a month ago, lest we forget.
That's
a good
true.
point.
I mean, I brought these stats up last week, but Broncos are worn out. They just beat the Chargers. They're like, all right, whatever. Now they're just going to be like,
no.
One good game's fine.
I got-
we got
I
a really
got-
good one.
I got Broncos.
Packers at Vikings. I got to take Packers, but I'm scared.
Yeah. Ooh, this is gonna be a snow game too.
Yeah.
So fun, dude.
Ooh.
I think A-Rod might be a little too pissed off to lose this game, man. I think I'm going to go Packers.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go Vikings, but I'm gonna add the caveat of I don't know if Kirk Cousins. How many times has Kirk Cousins played in the snow?
Well,
'Cause, like, Aaron's
Minnesota,
used to it,
I think
right?
they have like a half dome now or something.
Oh, do
Don't
they?
Yeah, I think they do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm taking the Vikings here though, but I don't know. This is kind of a flip a coin game for me. I think.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Especially like the Vikings are 5-4-1, Packers are 4-5-1 right
Mhm.
now. They both be
Yeah.
dead even by the time it's over.
I gotta go with the Green Bay Packers.
3-1 Packers.
There we go.
All right.
And then finally, Titans at Texans.
Gonna be actually a surprise good game in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think it's
no
gonna be
kidding.
close.
I think so.
That'll be a good game.
Yep.
This will be a
Might
good
be.
Monday night game.
But
I don't think it will be because Marcus Mariota is injured and Blaine Gabbert is starting.
Oh,
But I
well,
see
I
the-
take the Texans then.
I see the Texans,
yeah, I'm taking the Texans as well.
taking
that
the
one?
Texans winning 17-14.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I guess I didn't actually know that. Okay, it's probably the Texans.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
What
what
were the-
are
what were the
what are the
locks?
locks? I had Ravens.
I had Patriots.
Yeah, I locked in the Pats.
Oh,
I'm gonna
Bear-
lock in the.
Oh wait,
Saints.
we can't do the same one, can we? Well, I locked it
No,
in
you
first,
can.
so you got to
You
change
can,
some
but-
big stuff.
You can, but I guess
Yeah.
I'll lock in the Chargers.
There you go. That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm locking. The
I'm locking the
Saints.
Niners. I'm locking the Niners.
You're locking the
Whoa.
Niners. Let's
go.
go.
Hometown Buckers. That's
Damn.
what they call them there, right? The Buckers.
Yeah, I think so.
No, they call them
Yeah.
they call them the suckers.
Ew.
sucking ears. They
Oh, oh.
As in,
Um,
we're all suckers for rooting for that team.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's
All right.
fairly accurate.
Well, hey, this is a long ass episode. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Yeah.
have some good turkey or something.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Turkey Day,
Happy
boys.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Unless
Happy
you're,
turkey.
one of the teams that loses on Thanksgiving, that's probably kind of.
Yeah, it's got to suck.
Like the Lions.
Yeah, like the Lions. I mean, no,
But don't worry,
they're gonna win.
professional football players don't care about you at all. They don't care if if they have your support, so don't support them.
This is a beautiful message for the Thanksgiving episode,
Yeah.
Victor. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Support Turkey.
Football
Support
players
Turkey.
aren't aware we exist. Goodbye now. We'll see you next
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Happy holidays,
Happy
everyone.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
See you next week.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.